Two generational wide receivers, but only one belongs atop your draft board. In this ADP battle, we have Jamar Chase up against Justin Jefferson, and the fantasy community is pretty much established that Jamar Chase is the 101 in many drafts if someone doesn't go with a running back, and Justin Jefferson has been the clear number 2. But I think there is a case to consider beyond this automatic slam dunk, which may or may not be. Let's start out with Jamar Chase. Last year, how do you argue? 1,708 yards, 17 touchdowns, 127 catches, the triple crown. Now, Chase had 175 targets. That is 30 more than he had in any other season. Can he continue? Yes. We'll keep talking this through. After the catch, because remember, the Bengals are one of those teams where the league has really clamped down on the too high safety, stop the big plays over the top. Chase will get some. Sometimes the defense will sneak a safety and Burrow will pick on that. But Chase, 86th percentile in yards after the catch. So no matter what the defense does, good luck stopping Jamar Chase. Here's the point to consider. Jamar Chase is, we know, a legendary receiver. But it was a career year last year. And it was by far a career year. Can these years pile on and continue? Yes. But there is potential regression. Joe Burrow certainly is going to pepper Chase with targets. We're very excited for fantasy that the Bengals project to have a terrible defense. So this sustains the idea that maybe Chase can get that 175 targets and maybe up that a little bit further. If that's the case, he does finish as the wide receiver 1. But if that career year has some regression, all of a sudden, it might be, okay, he was a great receiver, but he may not be worth the 101. Best case scenario, like we said, 1,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, new elite standard for Jamar Chase. Worst case scenario, as I pointed out, a little regression. Defenses, can put a little more bodies on him, just make things a little more difficult, and still finishes in the top 5, no questions. That's probably the top 3, right? For sure, but definitely right in that mix near the top. But he's not going far outside of that. Bottom line, look, like we said, wide receiver 1 in most drafts. It's going to be hard to dispute that. I'll give my complete comparison of these two receivers at the end, but drafting him at number 1, I get it, but he's no worse than the wide receiver 2 in any draft. If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, we're offering 15% off all RotoWire subscriptions. You go to rotowire.com, pick your favorite subscription, you use the code YouTube15 to score your 15% discount. All right, let's get to Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. So last year, it was a disappointing season for Justin Jefferson. 1,533 yards. How many receivers can say that is a disappointing season? Aside from Jamar Chase's career year last year, this is better than what Chase has done in the past. That 1,533 is way beyond that. So that was a down year. 103 catches, 10 touchdowns. Sam Darnold was the quarterback. And look, Sam Darnold had a very nice season. But I am not one to saying Sam Darnold's a very good quarterback. Protected, schemed up well. J.J. McCarthy will be the quarterback this year. We have no idea what we're getting here. But I'll say this. At least he was able to see the installation of the offense last year as a rookie. So at least he knows the concepts, and he'll have a full camp to be able to work on this. And here's the thing. Minnesota, they shored up their offensive line. They brought in Jordan Mason at running back. This might be a team that runs the ball more than we think. But at the end of the day, when they pass, schemed up passes, are they really going away from Justin Jefferson? Jordan Addison certainly will get some targets. TJ Hawkinson will get some. But if this is a lower volume passing game, it's just going to be the second and third receivers losing out because there is no way Kevin O'Connell, the coach, is going away from Justin Jefferson. J.J. McCarthy is going to find Jefferson to be his best friend. Remember, 3 of the last 4 seasons, Jefferson had at least, before last year, had 1,616 plus yards. So realistically, last year, 1,500 yards is his floor. That's his floor. 16 could be a new floor for him, but he has shown dominant numbers aside from the year he hurt his hamstring and missed 6 or 7 games. 66 percentile yards after the catch, not Jamar Chase level, but certainly fine for the volume he gets. We have seen Jefferson do well with Nick Mullins. We've seen him do well with Sam Darnold. I am not worried about the quarterback. And aside from that 2023 season with the hamstring injury, Jefferson played in every other game that he's been scheduled. So he's on the field aside from that one bad year. So best case scenario, look, he continues to be the target hog. He gets you 1,700 yards, which we know is easily in his range of outcomes. And that puts him where he could finish ahead of Jamar Chase. Worst case scenario, the team runs the ball a ton. They play with leads. They don't overpound Jefferson with the receiving targets. They give enough to other players to mute that down. Jefferson then finishes in the 1,500-yard range. Touchdowns might be down a tick. Then he falls behind Chase as the wide receiver 2 and maybe behind CeeDee Lamb or Malik Neighbors as the wide receiver 3. He could fall there. You're drafting him as a top 2. Now, the crowd says Chase, and here's the tiebreaker. It is Joe Burrow, because I will trust Joe Burrow over J.J. McCarthy. That's a tiebreaker. But I want to make this point. Chase had a career year last year. If he doesn't repeat that, Jefferson's bottom line floor is so high that Chase has to have that type of year again to beat him. So it's closer than you think. And if you want a contrarian take and you're in multiple leagues, I think you want to split those shares if you have early picks and drafts between these two receivers. But yes, I won't disagree with the crowd on this one. Jamar Chase is slightly ahead of Justin Jefferson, mainly because of the advantage at quarterback.